Look, just on this nonsense, the COP29 meeting in Baku, Azerbaijan, is still going, and Chris Bowen is there. He's actually signed up to work with the UK on renewables.
I'm here with my mate Ed Miliband, and we've just signed an agreement that Australia and Britain are going to work even more closely together on renewable energy, hydrogen and our clean energy futures.
In Britain, we so admire what Australia is doing on renewables, the drive this government has shown.
Yeah, I bet they do. I think the UK knows that renewables leave you short. That's why they're expanding nuclear. How they must laugh at the earnest little renewable zealot from down under. The thing with these climate conferences is that they attract all kinds of protesters who seek the platform.
I'm sick of greenwash ethnic cleansing!
Sam, you greenwash genocide! Green hydrogen!
Stop green colonialism!
Look, they all deserve each other, really. The fear-mongering is pretty intense too. Even UNICEF turned up to crank up the fear for children, no less.
Children face unique challenges when it comes to climate. They're more susceptible to things like heat and air pollution. Their bodies can't process it as easily as older people. And second, children depend on government services, and government services are also very vulnerable to these issues. You know, if you have flooding or cyclones like I saw when I was in the Pacific, children can't go to school or they can't access health care. That's a huge problem for young people.
It's pretty objectionable stuff, isn't it? Deliberately heightening the fears of children and using them as human shields in the political fight over climate responses. And it happens here too, of course. Greens Senator Mehreen Faruqi has read out a frightened speech from a child in Parliament.
It's a privilege to read out a speech today as part of the Raise Our Voice in Parliament campaign. Sophie from New South Wales says this: massive floods, horrifying bushfires, smoke-filled summers and an increase in poverty. This is what our future will look like if we don't commit to a ban on fossil fuels. I want the generations to come to still be able to see animals like koalas, bilbies and quolls in their natural habitat before they're burnt or flooded away.
Isn't that terrible? Revelling in the unwarranted fears of a child. The Greens and others spread exaggerated claims. They make wild predictions. They point to natural disasters that are no worse and no more frequent than we've always had, and they use them to scare kids, who then echo this hysteria back to them in Parliament. I mean, Australian wildlife to be wiped out by fires and floods? The very factors that have shaped our environment for millennia, the very factors that our plants and animals have adapted to, so much so that they now rely on fire and flood, yet our politicians stoke fears that this will force extinction. It's disgraceful stuff, and it's all done for politics and ideology. Just imagine for a moment if our public debate just stuck to the facts.